I'm going to ask Mike if you'll lead us in the invocation.
Pray. Our Father, just thank you for this day, this time to come together and do the county's business, Lord. Just ask you to be with our sick and our shut-in, Lord. To be with those that are in hospitals today. Be with those that grieve the loss of a loved one, Lord. Just touch them at their point of need and comfort them. Just we ask that you go with us throughout the remainder of the week and keep us safe and healthy. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mike. We ask for the roll call.
Mike Phillips. Here. Tracy McDaniel. Here. Tim Spencer.
Here.
Ray Little. Here. Lima Dawkins. Here. David Smith. Here. Charles Mathis. Here.
Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? So moved. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. I need approval of the minutes from meeting May 4th, 2020. So moved. Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Need approval of the claims in the amount of $397,687.34. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Next, we have a proclamation for the class of 2020 day. We'll turn this over to Mr. Bratton.
We're going to ask Ansley, what's your last name again? Touchberry and Austin Whiteside, if they will, to come up. And we're not going to do this the normal way and shake everybody's hands, but I'm going to ask them to come here and I'll read these. Ansley is the senior class president for Gaffney High School, and Austin is the senior class president for Blacksburg High. And council wanted to do something to recognize the class of 2020 because it has certainly been an adventure for you folks from the very beginning. So we wanted to pass a proclamation in your honor today. I want to read this to you, and we've got one for each of you to take back to your schools. Class of 2020 Day. Whereas students in the class of 2020 entered the world before, during, and after September 11, 2001, marking them as a class of hope for the future. And whereas our seniors have missed out on many of traditional senior activities such as senior prom, yearbook day, prom bash, spring sports, and senior awards day. And whereas the last day of class with their favorite teacher, the last day of school with their friends, and the transition of leaving high school was taken away from them. And whereas this community has witnessed how strong, resilient, and fierce the class of 2020 is in the face of extreme adversity during this unique situation we are living through. Now, therefore, Cherokee County Council does hereby proclaim Wednesday, May the 20th, 2020, as Class of 2020 Day throughout Cherokee County, showing our congratulations to all seniors graduating and letting them know how proud we are of them. May this not be an obstacle in your life, but an opportunity to learn how to endure and go forward regardless of the circumstances. And that's signed by Chairman Tim Spencer, dated today. So there's one for Gaffney High, and here's one for Blacksburg. Got it. All right, very good. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have another proclamation, National Emergency Medical Services Week.
This proclamation is for National Emergency Medical Services Week, which is May the 17th through the 23rd. It says that whereas May 17th through 23rd is the designated week established by presidential proclamation in 1973 and is an annual celebration to recognize and appreciate emergency medical services provided by paramedics and EMTs in communities across our nation. And whereas this year's National EMS Week presents a timely opportunity for community to give special thanks and gratitude to all EMS practitioners who have been and continue to serve on the front line of our nation's war on the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas EMS practitioners are responding to calls for help from patients with suspected or positively diagnosed coronavirus, in addition to 911 calls for patients with severe injuries and illnesses. And whereas in serving their patients nationwide, thousands of EMS practitioners have contracted COVID-19, and even more have had to self-quarantine away from their families after having been exposed to the coronavirus. And whereas EMS is a vital element of our nation's healthcare, public health, and public safety systems, every day, 24/7, in every community, EMS responds to patient calls for help when they have had an accident or are experiencing a medical emergency. EMS is an integral component of our nation and our county's ability to respond to public health crisis. And whereas Cherokee County owes a great debt of gratitude to our paramedics and EMTs who are serving on the front lines of the COVID-19 response, now therefore be it resolved by the Cherokee County Council that Cherokee County Council requests that the help of all citizens in Cherokee County in recognizing the incredible courage, selflessness, and heroic efforts of our paramedics and EMTs this EMS week of May 17th through 23rd, 2020. And please pause and give thanks for all that they do in Cherokee County providing our public health and safety. And I will pass this on to Jen Reese with Lifeguard.
Thank you, Mr. Bratton. All right, next, y'all, we have an ordinance. It's the first reading of ordinance 2020-14 to amend the agreement for development for the joint county industrial park between Spartanburg County and Cherokee County as to include additional property in Spartanburg County as part of the joint county industrial park and other matters relating thereto. This includes the Tyndall Corporation, Partans LLC, Tiger Lake Spartanburg LLC, and Stone Solar LLC. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. I'm going to ask to raise your hand. There you go. All right, I guess I'll turn it over to Mr. Mathis in regards to the executive session. Or
Actually,
Mr. Brad.
we're not going to need that executive session, Mr. Little.
All right, good. All right. Next, we will hear from Mr. Mathis. Now we will hear from our Administrator, Steve Bratton.
Thank you, Mr. Little. Just an update on the status of the COVID-19 in the county. We had one additional case reported today, and that brings our total to 24. One thing I want everybody to keep in mind, and I see a lot on social media, that's 24 from the beginning. So we certainly believe that some of these 24 have recovered, but that's just the total number of cases that we've had reported in our county. That doesn't mean we have 24 active that we know of, but it's 24 since the beginning. As you all saw, we also have had reported our first death related to COVID-19. While we are not provided the details of that information, we certainly do hope that family feels how much we support them and how much we care about them, and hate to hear that. I've spoken with DHEC about the failure on their part to notify me, and I read it at the same time as you all did on Facebook and on the Ledger, and even WSPA. So I apologize for that, but hopefully we won't have that situation again anyway. The emergency ordinance that we put in place 60 days ago is set to expire on May the 22nd. It is my opinion that we allow that to expire. We seem to be moving to where things are opening back up. So we are going to allow that to expire. If we get into a situation, if we have another spike in cases, then we would certainly come back together and pass something along those lines again. But as of right now, it will expire on May the 22nd. Had one action item, or actually I have two items that we need to take up. Number one is we've got a request to remove a road from the county system. That road is Vance Road. It is in District 2, up off of Highway 11. It is an old road that led to basically a dead end, and we haven't done a lot of maintenance on it in quite some time. There's two property owners on it. Both of them have signed the form and have sent that to us, and I'm coming before council tonight asking you all to approve us abandoning our interest in that road.
You've heard this recommendation. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve that recommendation.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand.
The next item I've got that wasn't on your agenda, but it was public notice was given, is we've got a bid opening today. This is for the sale of scrap metal at the recycling center that has piled up very quickly over the past several weeks with all the folks cleaning out. So I'm going to open that bid. We've only got one bid. It is from Spartanburg Recycling Group. Bid price is $20 per net ton. I'm actually going to ask if we can remand this to the Public Works Committee. I need to look into this a little bit more, Mr. Little.
With regards to only having one bid, I don't see any problem in that. I don't think we need to vote on that. We'll send it to Public Works.
That's all I've got.
Is that everything? Okay. Is there any appointments? Okay.
I'd like to reappoint Doug Hubbard to the Cherokee County Development Board.
We have a motion, for Doug Hubbard to be reappointed to, say it again, which one?
County Development Board.
Development Board. We have a motion. Do I hear a second? Second. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
Do we have any other appointments? Under old, new, and other business, I think we've thrown this out a little bit, and I'm going to ask Mr. Bratton to get us something in writing in regards to the blue laws as it affects the yellow mall. It's my understanding that we have certain laws in place that limit them in their ability to open. At this point in time, with them opening, I think we need to do everything in our power to ensure that they have all hours of operation based on the social distancing. We need to give them every opportunity to be open to make it. And I don't know the details per se, but I'm going to ask, with y'all's agreement, for Mr. Bratton to bring us some type of resolution, ordinance, whatever it takes to allow them. Lowe's does it, Walmart does it. I don't understand why the yellow mall doesn't, but I think we need to do something to allow them to have that opportunity, if y'all are in agreement to that. Okay? So next meeting, I want something in place to have, for us to vote on to assist them in that regards.
We can do that, Mr. Little, and it will be not specific to the outlet mall. It will be a county-wide type situation.
That's
where
fine.
we can address businesses in general. But you're right. I can go to Walmart and buy a pocketbook, but I can't go to Coach at the outlet mall and buy that same pocketbook.
But we will.
So we will address that, yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Has anybody got anything else? Then this meeting is adjourned.